Well, we're back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode, another edition of the Never Broke Nation podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Ooh, hey.
Hey.
What's going on?
I haven't seen y'all in so long.
I know, right? Like 5 whole minutes ago. I know. 5 whole minutes ago at our other job.
Yeah.
Right. So, again, welcome, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Never Broke Nation podcast. I'm Janai Thornton.
I'm Brandy Hills. I'm Alicia Tillman.
Y'all know me. I'm Chris Hollis.
Do they know you?
Yes.
So what are we talking about today, Chris?
Today we are going to be talking about challenging everything. I know about a year ago we did a video where we wanted to encourage our fans to challenge their monthly bills. So how about we just put that video up right now? Let's just take a look at it.
Girl, you did that.
You did
Yeah,
that. Y'all in here celebrating?
Girl, tell her. Girl, I was paying way too much for my cell phone, so I decided to call my provider.
Right.
They tried to give me the runaround, transferring to another department.
Right.
I was like, yes, please.
Yes.
After 30 minutes and 3 transfers, girl, they reduced my bill by $50.
What?
That's $600
Girl.
a year.
It's a big deal. And I was on the phone with my cable company. Y'all, I pay $200 a month. And I don't even have the internet.
Girl, that is crazy.
So I got another quote from another company.
Right.
Called my current provider. They transferred me to the loyalty department in no time.
That's how you do
Girl,
it.
my bill was reduced by $25 a month.
What?
Even if they didn't, you could have went with the other company. Win-win.
Okay.
So now we want to challenge you to take a look at where your money is going. Challenge your monthly bills and tag Never Broke Nation with your savings testimonies.
So, ladies, do y'all remember what the inspiration was behind that video? Like, what made us want to do that video?
That's one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it was one day I had to challenge a bill for Janai's aunt, actually, when I used to be her assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the phone with this phone carrier forever. They kept transferring me from one department to the other. I had to keep telling this story over and over and over again. But, I stuck with it, and then I was able to reduce the bill by like $30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and, it just kind of inspired us to create that video and kind of dig deep into challenging monthly bills.
I remember when we did that video, it really made me think about what should I start to challenge?
Right.
Like, what are some things we can encourage our viewers to challenge? Besides, I know in the video we talked about cable, internet, like even in the video, that was a true story for me. Like I was paying, my cable bill was like ridiculous and I didn't have no premium channels,
Right.
No, not even internet. When I said not even internet, I meant that. Like I should be really, that was so much money.
Right.
And I just got tired of it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, at some point you have to start like kind of questioning, am I paying too much? You know what I mean?
And I think for me, the inspiration really came from how many of us have our lives on autopilot. So you know how you're paying stuff, you just pay it.
Right. You're used to doing
You're
it.
just paying it. You may have been paying it for months or years. And then all of a sudden, you're just like, what in the world?
Right.
Like this costs too much. This is really ridiculous.
Exactly.
And so what we're suggesting people do is, like you said, Chris, you need to challenge everything.
What should you challenge, ladies?
Right.
Everything. Where's my bell?
I know. Got to get this girl a bell.
So listen, I have a good story about what Janai is saying about you paying the same bill every month and you're just used to it and you just keep doing it, not thinking, you know what, I need to see if I can get a lower rate. So just recently, I purchased a new vehicle and I'm like, the rate I'm paying already for a 2007 Honda is too high. So before I go and get this 2015 added to my insurance, let me see if I can get a lower rate.
Just shop it, right.
And not just a lower rate for my car, but for my home as well, because I had the multi-discount. And I started to shop around, and my rate for my car may have went down like $60, but the rate for my home insurance went down $800 a year.
Oh my
This is a company I've been with for 10 years. So again, it's just that you're used to paying it every month.
Right.
Yeah. You have to have your car insurance. You have to have home insurance. You're just not thinking, can I get a better rate than what I've been paying all these years?
And when Brandy first told me that, Not that I wanted to accuse her of lying, but it's like,
good
is
to be
that
true.
even possible?
But you want to accuse her of lying.
But it's just like, you think about, I'd have been happy if they would have reduced my bill $80.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let alone to think that just by picking up the phone, shopping around, that you could reduce your bill by $800.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
a lot of
That's
money.
significant. That's
received-
significant.
I would have sent her a fruit basket.
gotta
I would
check.
have invited her over for dinner.
Come on, check.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
Because I
good.
had so much in escrow, you know.
Because you had you had paid in too much. That's absolutely crazy to me. But again, back to the theme of challenging everything: car insurance,
phone bills, cable bills.
anything that you are paying every single month. I mean, obviously, your mortgage company and your landlord might be like, "Too bad, so sad."
Exactly.
But everything else is negotiable for sure.
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. So with that being said, now that we all understand that we should challenge everything, everybody should be thinking right now of some things they should be challenging. What about when? When should you challenge some things? How would y'all, anybody got anything they want to add to that? Like the first thing I think about is like maybe when your contract is ending,
Right.
you know, instead of just rolling over,
Right.
maybe see what else you can get.
Right.
Or it could be things that you're not even using anymore. Every time LA Fitness comes out of my account, I know I'm like, why am I paying them $30 a month? I don't even know the last time I stepped foot in that place.
Because when Janai said autopilot, it made me think about auto pay sometimes can equal autopilot.
Right.
You know, and that's, I mean, maybe, you know, as we talk further on, like maybe there should be something that you should set in a calendar or something like that to make you go and revisit those things that are on auto pay.
Right.
To make sure you're just not paying for things you shouldn't be paying for.
Right.
But when you talk about the win, to me, it's also about us paying attention because, you know, we're all watching TV. You know, they're running the ads. You
Right.
know, you're the company you're spending money with or a competitor. You know, you're just like dozing off during the commercials, getting up, going to get something to eat versus really paying attention. Even on social media,
Yep.
they're promoting like sales and discounts
Right.
and all that stuff. Like that's a
Giving
cue
you-
for us. That
Giving you
means
cash to
that
switch.
means action, not like go get some food.
That's a good point. That's a good point. What about anybody else has any other wins?
I mean, when you can't afford it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like at some point you have to be like, this is crazy.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
why am I? And that was really the story behind my aunt's bill, which I've had to adjust since then. It's just like, why does it cost this much?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like we're not paying this amount
Right,
of money.
exactly. It's always good to know when you should challenge things and when. I think when you can't afford it is probably definitely one of the most important things.
Right.
But hopefully you can challenge before you get to that point. Yes, I'm
Right.
sorry, Alicia.
Oh, no. So we've talked about, you know, what to challenge and, you know, kind of dabbled into when to challenge it. But let's talk about how to challenge it.
Okay.
Because
There's a strategy.
There's a
Right.
strategy to
Right.
this,
Right,
okay?
right,
You got to
right.
be prepared.
Right. So I am going to put Brandy on the spot. I know. She didn't want to talk about this. We talked about this yesterday. She's like, I don't want to share this. But she don't have a choice now because the mic and the cameras are rolling. So come on, Brandy. No
I
shame.
forgot what was it that because to what Alicia just said, you need to be prepared. So I just challenged something, but I was not prepared before I did it. So, you know, you talked about cable bills earlier.
Yeah,
My cable bill is $175. I think that's ridiculous.
I do too.
So that's all I knew was I'm not paying $175 another month.
Yeah.
So I call because I know if I tell them I'm canceling, they're going to automatically ask me why. And when I tell them the cost, they're going to give me a better deal.
Right.
But the deal she gave me was $140.
Right.
And I'm like, that's still not good enough for me.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I need to call and search around, and then I'll call you all back and cancel. Because I needed to go find a better rate than the $140 before I really cancel.
Yeah.
So I should have prepared that.
So what
upfront.
should you do?
the call was a little early is the point.
Got it.
And so
Should've-
it is important to do the research
Right. Got
because
to
you
do
just
the
can't
research.
call, with that passion because now you're hot, pissed, whatever you are. But it's like, what are the facts?
Right.
Like, what are the competitors charging?
Right.
Your current provider, they're always running deals and
Yeah.
sales and all that. You need to know all of that before
Right.
you call. So now you're ready. You can get through that call, get transferred to the right department, and here we go.
Right. That's a
Right.
good point. That's a good point. Because I'm like, nowadays people don't reward you for loyalty anymore.
Right.
It's like the longer you stay with them, the more, especially with car insurance. I mean,
Oh,
any type
yes.
of insurance.
Anything. Right.
I'm old enough to remember when the longer you stay with the insurance company, your price would go down.
Would go down.
Right.
Right.
Now it's the
Now it's
reverse.
the
Right.
reverse.
Wow.
I'm
Absolutely.
like, why am I being penalized for staying with you?
Right.
It's like
With-
they
with
want
no
you to
accidents.
go somewhere
Right.
else.
With no accidents.
With no
nothing.
accidents, right.
But then there's a downside to that as well because sometimes you can be penalized for moving around too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's what is a good time? What they say to normally stick around 2 to 3 years with
At
the company.
least, yeah, it
before you
matters.
move on. So people is not just as simple as just moving on.
Right.
In some cases,
Right.
sometimes it can hurt you.
So Lisa,
as
don't
well.
you have example of?
I
how-
do. Actually, I have a recent one because we were talking about this. So yesterday I called my cell phone provider because I pay like $140 for one phone. Like it's too much. So I was like, let me test this out. Let me try. So I called them and
It's on your phone bill for $140.
I must
another
have like
episode of the
listen,
Never Point
come
podcast.
on.
Right.
I don't know why I've been paying. I've just been on auto pay. You
Yeah,
just pay
forever,
it or
right.
whatever. So I called them, and the first person I talked to, they were like, "Oh well, there's really nothing we can do." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, can I speak to a manager?" I've been with the company for 7 years now.
Right.
I spoke to the manager and told them how long I've been with the company. I've always paid my cell phone bill on time. And she was able to reduce my bill down to 116. Now it's still a lot, but it's better than 140. So
Right.
Right.
But you just mentioned something really important is knowing how long you've been a customer
Yeah.
because that matters when you're
Right.
calling.
Right.
And even if your payment history hasn't been perfect, you need to know that. Don't let them tell you that.
Right.
Right.
Just you can own that. Yes, I've
Right.
had a couple bumps, but I've been with y'all this amount of time.
Right.
But you definitely want to know that for
Right,
sure.
Exactly. And I just want to speak to my cell phone company. I'm not going to say their names,
Right.
but their name starts with T and their last name is Mobile.
We have no idea who you're talking about.
Just gave a little hint.
Right.
But I mean, I have been with this company. Look, they told me how long I've been at. They was like, "Oh, you're a loyalty customer.
Right.
You've been with us for 12 years."
Right.
I personally would like to ask them to start giving customers who have been with them for over 10 years some kind of deal.
A rebate or something.
I mean, because who else stays with a company that long?
Absolutely.
I'm like, if you want to keep your people loyal to you, give them something. Like, give me half of a phone. Like, y'all, when did they stop giving you free upgrades?
Right.
Right.
Nobody told me.
Right.
she is so concerned.
She's really
no, you're
emotional.
gonna buy
I had to
Ring
pay for a new phone, which
Right.
goes to show y'all how old my phone was.
Right.
I had to pay for a new phone. It was like almost $1,000.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
That person
It's
asked
crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. But one thing too, Alicia, that you said about like the first person that you talked to, they don't have the authority to help you.
Right. Right.
So you want to go straight to customer retention, the loyalty department. Every company calls it something different. Someone who has the authority to make those decisions. Because there's nothing more frustrating than telling your story like 8 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you go to the next person. Like, no, send me right here.
Right, which is one of the things you've always said, and I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but make sure you call when you have time.
Right. Oh,
because sometimes that's a tactic.
Right.
I mean,
For sure.
we're not saying that's a tactic, but sometimes
No,
that's
it's a tactic.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
That they put you on hold, switch you around to get you to give up.
Right.
So you call when you have time. It's like calling the IRS.
Schedule that.
Yeah, use that speakerphone, wash some dishes.
Right, whatever
clean
you
the
have to
house.
do.
Ma'am, I'm
Whatever
going to
you
have to
do.
change you. Is that okay? Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you have a great day. Thanks for talking to me. You got to be,
Right.
you can't get hot. Like, you can't get mad.
Right.
Because that's what they want you to do,
Yeah. Definitely don't want to lose your cool.
Can't lose
Now,
your
you want to
cool.
be direct, though, and to the point, but you don't want to be emotional, for sure.
right.
Yeah.
I know my dad, every time he talks to customer service, it's just like 110. Like he just goes, I don't want to talk to you. I need to talk to that manager. I'm like, Dad, all she did was ask you, how was your day? Like, calm down.
But being prepared is so key here because
Yes.
most of the time, everyone here has a story about how it's worked.
Right.
Yep. So it does work, but you need to schedule it and be prepared and know how much you're willing to pay.
Yeah.
And be willing to leave for real, though.
Right.
Don't
Yeah,
let people
for
call
real,
your
right.
bluff.
Yeah.
Because they will do that.
They will call your
No, Sprint called my bluff. Now, that's another situation where I called and was not prepared. But I was like, I'm just going to leave. And she was like, okay. I didn't even know what cell phone carrier I was switching to, what phone I was going to use for the rest of the day. But I was like, you can shut this service down now.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe she was giving me that type of customer service. Like, you don't care that I'm leaving?
Right.
As long as I've been here?
Yeah, that's happening, especially when you deal with like the major companies. They're not really after customer retention because they have so many customers.
Right.
You know, that's not a part of them. Like, you know how somebody calls them like giant monster banks. You have giant monster cell phone companies now where you're just not their focus.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to go to those smaller competitors who sometimes you might not have the same reach, same service, but sometimes, you know, you get the better price and a better customer service.
Yeah.
A lot of times now, those cheaper phone companies, they use the same cell phone towers.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting the same
Same
service.
coverage, right? Because they are a subsidiary
Yeah.
of the Sprints and the T-Mobiles and all of that.
Right.
So that is true, though, and I think a lot of people don't realize it. We've been brainwashed, though,
Yeah.
to thinking we have to go with the marquee company versus some of the other companies.
Yeah.
Right. I know in high school, you know, if you had that Cricket.
Right.
Oh, she got that Cricket. You know, she probably don't got no lunch money or something like that. You know?
But they're very competitive.
That's
now.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Metro.
Metro PCS.
I might try that because such and
Shoot, I'm about
That
to get
company
that
is
track
just not
phone
working
from
for me.
Walmart.
they're not working with me.
What is it, like $50 a month?
For what?
For track phone?
Yeah, I think you can get them. Yeah, that
Yeah.
price or even cheaper. One thing that I've recently done in this whole thing of challenging back to my aunt's phone because she was originally with AT&T. They would only drop her phone for like a 6-month period of time. When it went back up again, they would not negotiate.
Oh, wow.
They were at that, too
Yeah.
bad, so sad. So end up having to go to one of the lower tier providers now. And so the equipment has to be a little bit different. I haven't set it up yet, but I've ordered everything. But I think her bill now will be like $15 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, for her home service. So, but it's just like I'm like, how can AT&T be like, that's okay?
Right. And you made me think about sometimes it's good as we should look out for our parents and our elderly, you know, people in our lives because sometimes they probably are paying too much
No
for
question.
services
Oh, yeah.
that they're not dealing. They're
Right.
not. My grandmother's not on the internet.
Right,
You know what I mean? Is she
Right.
paying for it?
right.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, you know, maybe we should also not only challenge our bill, but challenge the people in our lives, you know, our older loved ones, and look out and make sure they're not being taken advantage
My
of.
grandma's on the internet, though.
It's definitely
following
a
you on
conversation to have for sure.
No, she is not following me on Instagram. She will
That.
never follow me on Instagram.
That I have a whole nother story about that. We'll talk about that offline. So no, I'm excited about this. But again, this is my last point. You get the extra money, so what do you do with it though? So you get the extra $800, you get the extra whatever a month, you get so now what?
What you don't do is go get another bill.
But you don't.
Another monthly
Don't do
installment.
that. Do not do that.
And so that's the point. There was a reason why we challenged,
Right,
you know,
right.
so we can save money, but you're not going to really save the money if you don't have a plan for the extra money.
Right.
So you need to pretend like you're still paying that old amount, and you need to take that savings and set it to the side because otherwise it's just going to disappear.
Right.
It'll be gone, and you won't even realize that you've been saving any money.
Right. You waited on the phone for nothing.
For nothing,
For
right?
nothing.
Now, you're just giving the money to a new
somebody
person,
else,
right?
right.
Right.
Right. Even though we don't down auto making things automatic and
Right.
things like that. But that's one of the things that we definitely encourage is like for you to have your savings come out of your check or anything automatically.
Right.
So if you know that you just made that, if your bill went down $30, go ahead and add an additional $30 to come
your
out of your
savings.
savings.
No question.
Do that. Let that be an automatic that you forget about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the one you can.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that one is fine, but that's a good thing. That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Is anytime something changes like that, I try to just
Keep pretending.
go ahead and do it
Yeah.
very quickly. Because if
Yeah.
I get to feeling it
Right.
and feeling the extra $30
Right.
back, I don't know what might happen, David. I might have to go get my eyebrows done 2 or 3 times a month now.
You are hilarious.
Gone. Yeah. That part is easy. Spending it is easy.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, like
That's
saving
why I have
it.
to make that change immediately.
Well,
Like,
you
know
should.
thyself.
Right.
Know
Yeah.
thyself.
Because remember, that's what it was all about in the first place.
Right.
But though even people don't understand that $10, $20 a month is huge. What that can add up to, let alone if you're someone who's like paid off your car. Can you imagine if you paid off your car and now you just still take that car money and you set it to the side? Otherwise, it just disappears. You're like,
I
where'd
just
it go?
paid off my Saturn.
Yay! Do the dance.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to take that extra money and save it.
You save every dollar of it.
Not go. Not
No,
go,
no.
Okay.
Because you've been paying it all this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you've adjusted your life. You know, it's not like you've been homeless and hungry.
Right.
Well, right.
I've been hungry though.
Well, good. So I hope this has been very helpful. You know, it's helped me too. My husband David's very good at this. He likes to shake people down for money. Yeah, he's very good at the challenging. So yeah, we got a few things we need to kind of look at right now for sure.
David's our challenge everything spokesman.
I know.
So what have we talked about? We've talked about the what, we've talked about the how, and we've talked about the when?
The
Yeah,
win.
we talked
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So yeah, I think everybody has what they need
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
begin to challenge.
And make sure you're prepared.
Yeah,
Yes,
you definitely
yes,
want to be.
yes.
Thank you, Brandy. We
Yes.
called her out. I'm glad we did.
Right.
Yeah.
And make sure y'all hit us up on our Instagram page or our Facebook page and let us know some of the bills that you decided that you want to challenge.
Right.
You know, maybe you thought of something that nobody else has thought of.
Right.
So
Right.
please share that with us. We love to hear your testimonies. We love to hear how much you save.
Please. Yeah.
And what you're going to do with that savings.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sharing is caring.
Right.
Yeah.
And thank y'all so much for tuning into the Never Broke Nation podcast.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.